Looking at the world through a clear view, got both eyes up wide. I'm too woke, I'ma say things that the news won't. This is wide awake, this is wide awake. Never say something that I don't mean. Never stand for something you can't prove. Real facts, we don't get it from the memes. It's wide awake with lace, so don't snooze. Looking at the world through a clear view, got both eyes up wide.
George Soros.
The devil.
Yeah, he's been called Dracula, the devil. He's
Puppet master.
You talk about an evil man. This guy, I mean, he's literally single-handedly brought down countries. You know, people wonder and people ask, like, you know, well, what do you mean by that? How can somebody take down a country? Well, I'll explain to you a little bit on how they can take down a country. So somebody like George Soros, okay, who has a lot of influence, a lot of money. The man is worth 25 billion, right?
At least.
Yeah, net worth of over $25 billion. Definitely wealthy. So what a guy like that can do is he can come into a country and he can say, hey, I want this regulation, and this regulation to happen. Just like the same stuff that kind of happens with our country. And he'll pay off whatever government, whatever corrupt government that he's involved with, whether it's Indonesia or Japan or a couple of these other things. And he will get with them and he'll say, you know, hey, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, and this needs to happen. And then when that stuff starts to implement, he's smart enough where he knows, okay, when this happens, this is going to happen. And when this is going to happen, then this happens. So when he overregulates the manufacturing industry in Japan, and they start to all go down, and he starts to see that, oh man, the Japanese dollar is going to tank. Just like you can see certain tendencies with the U.S. dollar, right? When we watch the stocks, you can see the tendencies. You can go, oh wow, okay, the U.S. dollar looks like it's trending up or it's trending down. So that's basically what he does, and he watches it. And when he watches it, he makes quick investments with big money. So he plays the world stock game to the T. He'll go and invest. Okay, like what happened in Britain, in England. Pretty much the minute that the currency was about to be devalued, which was brought on by kind of what he implemented. It's not all 100% his fault, but he knows how to manipulate things just like a puppet master, like Tim said. He knows how to manipulate things where things will start to really truly work in his favor. So what he did was, the minute that he started hearing that the British sterling in the 90s and late 90s, early 2000s was going to crash, he literally stuck in millions of dollars overnight into the other currency. So he literally bet against his own currency that he was implementing for. So it was like Pete Rose with baseball, right?
Right.
When he came in and he, bet against himself and, bet for himself, winning or losing. That's what this guy was doing, but on a very high scale. And a deal like that literally made him $1 billion in 24 hours. $1 billion overnight. For screwing up a country. Not like he did it by doing something good or having a really good sale or selling an airplane or something. Or no, It was from wrecking a country.
He tanked the economy of a whole country.
A whole country. That's how he made $1 billion of his $25 billion net worth. You know, like he's literally said here. Where's the quote here? He says, "I admit that I have always harbored an exaggerated view of my self-importance. To put it bluntly, I fancied myself as some type of god." That's a quote. You know what I'm saying? Like, he thinks he's some type of god. Literal god. And when you got people like that with that type of money, oh, that's dangerous, man. That just spells danger. I mean, he's literally taken down Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, Russia, England. He's working on China, working on the U.S.
Took down Russia with a single phone call.
Now, now, what he does here is a lot different than what he has done in other places. Here, he's not so much able to mess with the currency as much. Why? Because we are a free capitalist society. Because we are a free market society where there's a lot of private wealth, and he can't influence things to that nature in this country.
And it's illegal for him to do it in this country. His group is overseas, and so where they don't have the same regulations that we have here, the Security Exchange Commission stops him from doing the same stuff here that he's doing in these other countries.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's my
why
point.
He's got to do it a whole different way here.
That's my point. So what he's doing here is he's doing the same thing that he did in Egypt, and he's doing the same thing that he did in Ukraine, which is fund with hundreds of millions of dollars. He's literally funding activist groups throughout this country that whose main objective is to be very anti-police. A lot of the Red Guard, very pro-communist organization. He's given over $100 million to them. He's literally given over $300 million to Black Lives Matter. Tell me what the fuck a Hungarian Jew, an 85-year-old Hungarian Jew, really wants to do with Black Lives Matter. I'm being serious. Like, it's showing where those motives are. And I think that's why a lot of people kind of shunned away from it and got away from the Black Lives Matter movement, even because they started to realize that it was literally being taken over. It wasn't the same good intentions that they first had when they first made it. And I think that when it was first made, it was good intended. It was intended to raise awareness of something that they felt was getting overlooked and overshadowed for a long time, which I do somewhat agree.
I do not agree with that.
And that's fine, and that's something that we can wind up discussing. But my whole problem is when he started funding this, then what did you see? You started to see more and more people start coming out of the woodwork, more and more big time, bigger activists take over these movements. And then all of a sudden, instead of going around chanting Black Lives Matter, what do they chant? Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. What do we want? Dead cops. Now. We want to kill them now. Kill cops. Kill cops. That's what it became. It became an anti-police society. Only after that man started funding things. It's just like all these other activist groups, the La Raza, and you could even say the KKK. I bet you if you look deep down in KKK's books, in some of their books that we could look at, maybe that's something that we could wind up looking into. I bet you if we look deep down inside that shit, I bet you we find George Soros involved with them. Because that's what he does. And that's what he's good at doing, is he's good at weaseling his fucking way in and funding these organizations that literally have the power to take down countries. Because financially, our country can't be easily taken down.
No.
But civilly, boy, if we have civil unrest in this country, guess what happens? Martial law, motherfuckers go on lockdown. People think their hood is riddled with police now.
Yeah. Wait till the National Guard comes in.
Wait till that shit is fucking registered as a fucking,
A federal police unit comes in.
yeah, wait till martial law is embedded into it, and then we'll
You think it's bad when the feds come in for a week?
wait till the army comes in, and I'll tell you the truth, when it happens, if it happens, let's hope our country's on the right path for a little while, and let's hope some of these Americans have their head on the right way and understand how this country thrives and where we need to go in order to thrive as a country. Because I'll tell you one thing, if the wrong person winds up getting in office, it will happen. The only reason why I think it's not happening yet is because the wrong guy for their plan is in office right now. And he's not beholden to anybody, and he doesn't flip the switch. Hillary would have been in there, I'll tell you right now. I don't even know what we'd see a country looking like right now. Seriously. I mean, it probably would be in flames.
It's a good possibility.
I mean, look at what happened.
Yeah.
Just after Donald Trump got elected, all of her supporters, what were they doing? Rioting. And I'm not even saying that I'm a huge Donald Trump supporter, but what I am saying is her supporters and those Bernie supporters, they were burning shit down. They were out there fucking shit off and getting paid.
Yep.
Most of them were getting paid $15 an hour. Dude, I barely get paid $15 an hour for busting my hump. I bust my ass working, and I make about $15 an hour. These motherfuckers were getting paid $15 an hour to hold up a sign and chant at people and get people pissed off. I don't get it, and that's what the type of stuff that George Soros is funding, and that's what he's done all over the world. He literally has. He's done this everywhere. All those countries that I named off, he's had his hand in screwing them up. It's not completely all his fault. There's other players in this, like there always is.
Yep.
But he's a very influential guy. If people think that the Rockefellers and Rothschilds and stuff were influential, they didn't like the spotlight. And that's why this guy's scary. Because he likes it. He likes to be talked about. Yeah, he thrives on it. They've asked him the question, like, don't you feel remorse for anything that you've done? All these countries that you've collapsed, anything? No, he doesn't feel a bit of remorse. He says, if I wouldn't have done it, somebody else would have done it. I don't care if people are starving, if people die, I don't care about any of that.
If my people are dying and I'm taking all their stuff, I don't care. Someone else would do it, so I might as well.
He literally started out turning in his own people, Tim.
Yes.
Turning in his own people. He's a Jew. He was literally, him and his predecessor were literally turning in their own people, marching Jews up to the concentration camps and taking their property. That's partly how he became rich, him and his protege, in the beginning, was taking people's property after he would turn his own people in. That shows you what type of man he is. And for that type of man to be involved with activist groups in our country, it just shows the wrong thing. And people will be like, well, they need money somehow. But yeah, they don't need money to force a certain agenda. And that's what has been happening, at least in my eyes. I mean,
Yes. Oh, yeah, most definitely.
I mean, you can see this agenda that he's got and that he's wrote about, and people have wrote about him getting carried out in this country crazily. I mean, at least over the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh, he's got a book on it. He's doing every step in his book right now.
Literally every step.
But people are too naive to read.
Yeah, they don't want to read, man. Reading is a lost cause. So, people would rather click on the craziest clickbait online, look at it, and run with it.
Yeah. Watch hood fights.
You know, and I used to be kind of the same way.
Oh, you got Audible. You can fucking listen to it.
You know, and not necessarily with reading books, because I'm still bad with reading books. I got to get better. I've read a few, and some of the ones that I've read on shit like this is fucking scary.
It is.
But I need to get better about reading more books and stuff like that. But what I have gotten better about is just doing my own research, because I was one of those people that felt like I didn't have time. You know, I felt like I didn't. You know, people make the excuse, I don't have time to work out. Yes, you do.
You always have time.
Yeah, fucking make time. Figure it out. Work it out. You know, and the same with, you know, I don't have time to research. Yes, you do. If it's important enough to you, you have time to sit down every day for 20, 30 minutes and do some research and really look through things. And don't just take everything for face value of your favorite news reporter and think that they're telling you the truth.
I seen a meme. It must be true.
Yeah, you know, a lot of that's
The majority
crazy.
of people's research these days.
Memes.
I seen a meme. It's got to be true. It's on the internet.
And that's why the great Kevin Taylor, KT Songwriters, he made that in my intro. And he said, you know, this world and society is based on fake memes and shit like that, where people literally don't even fucking do research. They just look at some funny meme that's honestly meant to be a joke half the time, and they'll run with it like it's real information. Like, and you know, it's frustrating. But what's even more frustrating is knowing that a guy like this and our CIA are behind the media and behind a lot of the shit that's going on. And these people are just eating it up. A lot of these people
they don't want to believe it. They don't want to get out their bubble.
Suck it like mama's milk, you know? I mean, it's crazy. I wish that more people would, you know. I mean, that's the purpose of my fucking show here, you know, is to wake a motherfucker up, man.
If they research it, they're gonna leave their bubble and be like, oh well, I need Xanax or something to deal with this. It's just too fucking rough. I can't believe this shit is happening.
Yeah. Well, exactly, and then big pharma doesn't help. You know, big pharma puts it in your brain, and this is, you know, big pharma is another thing that George Soros is heavily involved in. You know, he's smart. He goes where the money is, and you know, if there was laws and there were certain things that would stop him, just like you said. I mean, look, he follows the laws in this country. He doesn't go against them. But it should be fucking illegal, a lot of the things that he's doing, and that's the point. And
he even knows it. I mean, he said it himself.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to protect himself against people like him. He wants to protect the world against people like him.
People like him, exactly, man.
And he promises he will follow the rules.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, seriously, that's where it really starts. I mean, because that's where you have the most control. Is like, you know, here in Milwaukee with, you know, the school superintendent, for example. You know, I mean, get out there and vote.
Right.
You want the school policies to change and stuff? Get out there and fucking vote. Or go run for office. That's the beauty of this country. Is 1 minute, I can be a fucking rapper, and the next minute, I can say, you know what? Fuck this shit, and I can become a talk radio show host. That's the beauty of this country. Is there's no limit. You can be what the fuck you want to be.
And stop being lazy and vote for the same people over and over and over again, and with no change coming.
Oh, you mean you talking about Tom Barrett
every year from Democrats? How's that? Because we just vote Democrat. They're too stupid to do research, and I hate this guy. How's this Republican? Because you voted for him, dummy.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
you just made the list.
And I don't think I don't think all of what Sheriff Clark is doing is bad. I think a lot of the things that he's done for the city is really good, actually. I mean, I mean, look at how he turned the lakefront around, dude. You know, that's a big fucking deal.
Right.
I mean, you know, before Sheriff Clark got in, that fucking lakefront was a mess, dude. And you definitely didn't feel comfortable bringing your family down there, any of that shit. You know, now, you know, it's okay. You know, it's a decent place. Bradford Beach is really coming along. You know, they got those 2 new bars that opened up down there, and you know it. So I do think that, you know, there has been people that, you know, and then he will literally have the balls to go out and cut schools. I had to cut teachers. I had to cut this because I didn't get the correct funding. Well, no, you dumb fuck. You chose to fund your fucking trolley project instead of funding hiring new teachers. You chose to, do your stupid trolley fucking project than to, do a couple of these inter-community programs. No, it's not fucking the governor's problem, who has his own problems and has his own issues. But it's not the governor's problem that he gave you $80 million to dole out through this and you just couldn't find it in your heart to cut any away from your precious trolley. And we wonder why our city's where it's at. And again, I'm not saying left versus right. Right's better than the left. But
it has been working for 108 years. Something got changed.
In the aspect of making money, the right is right. In that aspect, where they know how to make fucking money. And they don't want you to be poor. See, the left wants you to be poor. The right wants you to make money. They want you to make money. They want you to prosper so you can invest more into the economy and, pay more in taxes and all that shit. That's what the Republicans want. But Democrats, they don't want any of that. They want to tax the rich and they want to keep you motherfuckers poor.
Reliant on them.
Exactly. They're reliant on government programs, reliant on food stamps, reliant on at least in my eyes, been run down to the nitty gritty. A lot of it had to do with a lot of our manufacturing jobs going away, which was due to what? Democratic regulations that were put on this city, from before, 50s, 60s, 70s, when we were a big manufacturing state. I mean, we were huge as far as manufacturing goes. We were one of the, probably top 5 in the country.
Everyone came up from the South to come here for our manufacturing jobs.
Yeah. And it all got regulated out. Out, gone. That's my point is that's what those policies do. People be like, well, they need them. Well, no, they need them to be able to get on their feet and then to get a good push in the ass and kick out the door. Here, we'll help you get on your feet. Here's a little bit. Here's this. Here's that. 2 years. Bam. Bye. That's what it should be. Instead of use it up till you finally get denied from the program and then you live under a bridge because you have no fucking skills. You have no nothing. You don't do anything. They don't even encourage. And all that ties into everything. When we're talking about George Soros and all that shit, it ties into all this shit because that's the problem. Is certain people get into power that can easily be corrupted from outside sources and from outside things. And somebody like George Soros, who is tearing our cities up, he's involved in a lot of different activist groups inside Baltimore. Why do you think Baltimore is going to hell? Why do you think that half these marches and stuff that happen and whatever turn to chaos? That they're bussing people in. From different states, from different places. They're literally busing them in. They will get a big bus, put 50 of these motherfuckers on, and then bring them into whatever protest is going on and tell them, act wild, act a fool.
Start it.
Start the shit.
And don't worry, you won't be charged either.
Yeah, we'll get you out, we'll bail you out, whatever they gotta do. Trust me, this is all facts. This is all shit that people can literally look up. You know what I'm saying? That all these different companies and different groups that George Soros funds. This is facts. This is he says right here. Debate this shit. I think I am being blamed for everything. I am basically there to make money, and I cannot look at the social consequences of what I do. And I somewhat get that because in order to make money, you can't necessarily be worried about what the next person is going to feel about it or how they feel. You know what I mean? You can't necessarily worry about that, but when your moves impact millions, not just 100 people, you know what I'm saying? Not just 100 people at your plant that you shut down or whatever, we're talking affecting millions of people, whole societies, whole villages. That to me, you gotta have some compassion, and if you don't,
Just tells you about.
Just tells you, man. I mean, he literally is the literal devil. I mean, what did they call? They called him Dracula. Who called him Dracula? Yeah, it was like the leader of Thailand called him Dracula, which literally means bloodsucker. He literally sucks the blood out of wherever he's at and moves on to the next thing. Sucks their blood, moves on to the next thing. You know, so yeah, man, you know, I wish more people would wake up and understand that this is a battle that we're fighting. You know, those of us that are awake and those of us that free think and are able to talk like this and think like this and look up articles and read books and, you know, whatever, we're few and far in between. And we need to use our voice to wake more people up, because a lot of these people don't want to hear what the fuck we have to say.